morning, everybody. Today is Friday, November 2nd, and I am coming back with you with another dating update. I said that I'll be giving you some weekly updates, so I'm excited to kind of go over some of the revelations that I've come up with and what I've been doing. So, first, I have been on Match.com, and I've so far matched with one person. We had a on the phone conversation, and it was a nice, cool conversation. So far, so good. But so I did the match, the 6-month thing. So I have the 6-month guarantee. So we're just seeing where it goes with that. That's one thing. Another thing that I've been doing is I have been making sure that my text messages are good and that I'm consistently responding to people and just making sure that those conversations continue to flow. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is a conversation. So I went out, one of my friends, she had a going away party, and so therefore I met some of her friends that I've never met before. So basically she does a good job of keeping her friends in separate groups. So I met a nice young man. We had our first initial conversation on the phone maybe like a couple of days after, but then this week we were able to have a FaceTime conversation. And so this is a story that I want to tell you guys because I want to tell you guys why it's so important to know what are your non-negotiables and to also know like when it's okay to find someone that doesn't have exactly your same views and when it's okay for someone that doesn't. And this is a situation. So we were talking and everything is fine. And so if you guys don't know, one of the main things that I'm currently asking people is, are you ready to be a husband? Meaning if things naturally progress, are you ready to be a husband? Because if you haven't looked at my first video, go look at that. The main reason that me and the guy that I was talking to pretty much had to slow down what we were doing and how fast we were going is because he wasn't ready to be a husband if things naturally progressed. And so I'm asking people that because a lot of people do have their reasons, and it's because they want to do something before, they want to fix something, they want to try something, they want to do something. I don't know what that something is, but sometimes it's get closer to God, sometimes it's finish school, sometimes it's buy a property, just whatever they want to do. And if they're not ready, there's really nothing, and I mean nothing, I can do for that. There's nothing I can do for that. And there's nothing you can as well. So just ask me those questions, because maybe if I was a little bit younger and I had more time in my timeline of what I want to do, then maybe, but I'm kind of ready for that next step. So just finding someone that's in that next step is one of the keys. Like that quote unquote timing is everything. I'm looking for people that are in that timing. So he said yes, he was ready. So I'm like, okay, we're talking and we're talking, and then he was like, I do have to tell you something. I'm not interested in having children. Well, that is one of the things that I have to have. That's like one of my non-negotiables. So from that moment, I was like, let's stop and let's talk about this. I don't want to argue about what is the right way or what is the wrong way, because there is no right or wrong way. There's nothing wrong with you not wanting kids, and there's nothing wrong with me wanting children, biological children. That just means that you're not the person for me, and I'm not the person for you. So we can be cool, we can be friends, but romantically, I'm not interested in pursuing something, and romantically, nothing will ever come from this. And he was like, wow, this is like the most mature conversation I've ever had. And this is why you need to have these things in these conversations earlier. He then confessed to me that he had talked to a woman for almost a year, and they hadn't had the conversations of if they wanted to have children, if they didn't. And when they did, they were already in love and they tried to make it work, but there are just certain things that you can't bend on. You can bend on, okay, if I want to get married this year or next year, if I want to wait, that's one thing. But you can't bend on it. Yes, one of the things that you can't do is you can't make someone want to be a father. And even if, there was a situation where he became a father, Like, do you want someone that doesn't want to be present and be a good father? You know, there's just so many things. And so instead of arguing or trying to debate or getting him to change his mind, just that's not the person for me and moving on. And so that is kind of an extreme case, but that's why you need to know, you know, what is for you and what isn't for you. So that happened this week. Another thing that happened is there's, you know, one man that I've been talking to pretty consistently, and we text every day, we talk throughout the week, we'll be meeting up soon, so that's happening. And just because I've been more open with the fact that I'm actually looking, other people have come up and I'm able to say, you know, I'm not attracted to you, or I don't see yourself aligning, or yes, like I'm interested and let's try. So I think that was one of the things as well, because certain things I used to keep super private. A lot of people thought that I was just talking to someone and was being private. In reality, there was nothing really going on. So I think that that's like something as well. Like, what is the perception that people perceive of you specifically? And of me, because I guess my Instagram and some of my social media, because I use it for business, is just a little bit more professional than like personality and fun and like what people see in real life. I needed to put more of myself out there. And so it's scary because you only want to put what you're comfortable with, but I'm seeing so many blessings because of that. One of my Facebook friends was like, I'm going to connect you with my niece's like brother-in-law, like just so many people are like, oh, I didn't know, but now that I know, like, let me help do that. So I'm just like, okay, God, like, do your thing, please. So that's one thing. Now, another thing that I'm choosing is positivity. If things don't come out as like, this is not the one, it is okay. What can I get from this conversation? What can I get from this partnership? What can I get from this relationship? Can you connect me with other people that are like-minded to you? Can you tell me where you guys that are like you hang out? What is the hangout spot? How can I get within this circle so that I can then just move around within this new circle of people that are like-minded? It didn't work out with you, or I may not be attracted to you, but I'm attracted to your kind, your likeness, and things like that. So what is that? How can we do that? For me, one of my friends, I RSVP'd her for this event because it was super, not exclusive, but it was a different type of people that were going to be there, and they were professionals that were like former athletes and stuff. And I'm like, that is a room that you need to go in, not only for networking but for connections. If you don't make a connection, like a love connection, that's fine, but figure out where is the next type of networking event like this so that we can know what's going on. And when I was like, when I come to Atlanta, we can know where to go, or you can go, and people have friends from there. Like, just knowing, being in situations to get chose from the type of person that you want, I'm learning that is part of the key. Now, one thing that I learned just yesterday that I'm making a portion, I'm making a conscious effort. If you can't tell, I was just a little under the weather, a little congested, and a little bit of a sore throat, a little sneezing, like earlier this week. And so yesterday I wasn't feeling the greatest, and I would have been perfectly fine just falling asleep, watching a movie, and like calling it a night. But I was talking to one of my Facebook friends about business, and they were like, let me take you out. And so instead of saying, no, can we reschedule? I was like, okay, like if this is not the person, that's fine. But let me get in the habit of prioritizing, being able to be taken out if people want to take you out. Prioritizing going out. Like, I would have went out if I wanted to meet a client that was going to write a check. I would have got myself out the bed. Or if it was a really bumping party or event, I would have got myself out the bed. So let me have that same emphasis when people want to take me out and spend one-on-one time and try to get to know me to see where this could go. So just having that type of prioritizing, I'm trying to do that so that if I do this for 30 days, then it'll be a habit. So just making sure that I'm taking time for that, making sure that once a week I'm taking time to go through my matches and see like who's messaged me and if I want to take it to the next level. Going through my phone and making sure that I'm keeping the conversation going with people that I may find interested, and not just letting things just phase off. Making it a priority to make sure that I am cultivating relationships with people that I want to take to the next level. And I'm also being decisive and making sure that I know when something isn't, not only when to end it, but what doesn't serve me and what is kind of no good for me. And just knowing what type of man that I want and what type of man that I need, and then how to kind of move forward. So I'm in a very positive place, more positive than when I made the first video, and it's just a choice. I'm choosing to be positive. I'm choosing to keep going. I'm telling you guys now, my goal, and what I'm working towards is that I would love to know who my person is going to be by the end of the year. Yes, it's November 2nd. We have less than 60 days until the new year, but that's my goal. There's a lot more parties, events, holiday parties. My Instagram is increasing, my YouTube, my social media is increasing, and as that increases, so does my chance to meet more quality people, and just having an emphasis on that and being specific on that. I feel like I have healed from past hurts, and when I was younger, I had a friend who's married now, and her goal was, I want to be married, I want to be a mom, that was her goal, and that was her pretty much only goal, and she really pushed for that, and I kind of didn't. I was like, I'll worry about that when I'm earlier. When I'm 25, I'll worry about that. When I'm 25, I'll worry about that. And when I was 25, I did worry about it, got into a relationship, it didn't work out, that's perfectly fine, but now I'm kind of like, okay, now what? And it's okay. I feel like I'm really enjoying this season now, which makes me even more relatable and approachable, but just pushing forward in this. So that is my dating update so far. I have had people, like I said before, kind of come up and say, I'm interested in dating you and stuff like that. So just seeing where things go, still following, being God-led, spirit-led, and heart-led, taking my time. It is not a race, and just being me. So that is one of the things that I have done. This is my dating update for the week, and I will be updating you shortly after. I must say, so also what happened was last weekend I did meet a guy when I was in Ghana, and he came to Chicago. He was doing work in New York, and he came to Chicago, and we hung out, did a Halloween bar crawl, and did some stuff. So that is another thing. People that are interested in you will come to you, spend time with you, and make time for you. So that is, I'm receiving all of that, and that is just how I'm working. This is how I am working in everything. So I will let you know next week what I've learned, what are some of my revelations and things like that. And that's it for this video. All right. Bye, guys.